Hayley and my channel is all about dreadlocks and my dread journey. And today I have a super special guest with me. This is Renata and she is the owner of Dreadshop. So she created my dreads for me. They are real dreads with human hair extensions attached. And this video is just going to be a Q&A from a perspective of 2 months versus 2-year dreadlocks. So Renata's are actually 2.5 years old.
Almost,
and
yes.
yeah, and mine are 2.5 months old. So yeah, we'll jump straight into it. But Renata, do you just want to tell them a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yes, of course, that's okay. So I'm Renata. I'm originally a Dutch girl, and I've been into the dreadlock world since a long time, around 18 years already. And I've started out with doing box braids and synthetic dreadlocks. And well, since a while I'm also into the real dreads. I've started my own journey, and I'm now living in Australia, starting up my salon and business over here. And that's where I met Hayley about just a bit over 2 months ago. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome, so we'll jump straight into the Q&A. So the first question is from Rusta Choo Choo, I hope I'm saying that right, and they are just asking how to sleep with dreads, like the healthiest way. The way I sleep with my dreads is just having them loose and out on top of my pillow because they're so long. It's hard to have them in a bun. And also when I was researching, I found out that while your dreads are young, you want them moving around as much as possible to get them maturing quicker. So that's how I personally sleep with my dreads so far. And Renata, how do you sleep with yours?
I usually just tie my dreads up like in a pineapple bun, which looks really like funny. And in the beginning I saw that the question of this person is from someone with dreads from 8 years old. But what I did when my dreads were young, like the first couple of months, was sleeping with a nightcap on, which is like preventing more like the frizziness and getting loose hairs, because I personally really like neat and tidy dreadlocks. So that's something you can consider when you are starting your dreadlock journey. But after all, it's just like, yeah, trying some different things and just see and feel what suits you. It's not really like there's one thing or way to go. It's just really personal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next question is from Piscoth. So they are asking about dreadlock hair extensions because they have had them and ended up getting rid of them because the extensions were coming out. So my experience so far with human hair extensions is that they're really strong. They're really great. I do have a couple with weak spots, but majority of them, because of the thickness, they are super strong, and I haven't had any issues with them falling out. And any weak spots, I think, are easily fixed as long as we get to them before they do sort of come out. But I think the thicker you go, the better, because I've got some that are like pretty thick and they feel really nice all the way down. So yeah, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah. No, you did a good job.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I think it really depends on the method that your dreads are made of. There's different methods that you can use to create real dreads. And I advise you to do some research for that, so which method suits you. And also there's different methods of how to extend your dreadlocks. So it can be that it's just the method that's not really suiting your own hair. It's also important to prepare your hair on getting dreads and extensions and how you maintain them. So using like the right products, the right shampoo, without any like silky added conditioning items which are giving a silky layer onto your own hair, which is not helping. That will help to slip out like the extension hair. So yeah, it's hard for me to really advise because I don't like see or know your dreads and what method is used. I work with the Seienstyle method, which is you don't have like pre-made extensions which you attach to the dreads. It's just human hair which you attach to the hair of the own dreadlock that you made, and that's really sturdy. So that's almost, I won't say it's impossible that they fall out, because you can get weak spots, especially when you have like really thin dreads. So yeah, that's.
But it is sort of impossible because you've weaved that hair all down. It's not just one bit; it's weaved the whole way through. So there's not really any way that it could fall off.
It's really tight. Yeah. It's really sturdy. So I can definitely recommend that one. So my advice would be to just find a good loctician. Yeah. So the next question is from that loses spam 133, and it's, what's your way to care for them? Also, is there anything I should know before getting them?
So I actually have a video about everything you should probably take into consideration before getting your dreads. So you can take a look at that. It's called Before Getting Dreadlocks. But the biggest thing is just to do your research and make sure that you're comfortable with your technician and that you're on the same page with them. They know exactly what you want.
What I always do with clients is that they can send me some photos of dreadlocks which they like, and also photos like of their own hair, so I know about what they want. I saw you personally, so we could speak about it. That's also an idea, of course, to see your loctician and to speak about it personally in a consult. But yeah, that's really important that you walk out the door with the dreadlocks that you're after, because otherwise, if you're disappointed with them,
oh my God, that makes me sad.
That will be really sad. What's your way to care for them?
So my way to care for them is I usually only do one thing a week, so I'll have like a dreadlock day where I will wash my dreads. I have a video on that as well, so you can check that out. And I will palm roll them. I'll also put aloe manuka gel in them, which you can get from Dreadshop.com, and palm roll them again. So it does take quite a long time, but it's only once a week, and I think it's definitely worth it to keep them neat and healthy.
Yeah.
So how do you care for yours?
Yeah, about the same. I also have like my Sunday is washing day, and then I care for them. What's really important is a good washing routine. So I wash my dreadlocks once a week with the right products, and I use like some extra products. My dreads are a bit older, so you are using probably a bit more.
Yeah.
Because when I started, I also used like tightening spray, refreshing spray, gel, and it's really good because it's really helping to lock the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
But my dreads are matured now, so I don't really need the gels and the locking sprays anymore. Yeah. It's just the good routine and my roots that need maintenance once in a while. So yeah, that's about my. Oh, and I oil because my dreads they become really dry with blonde dreads. You'll probably have that later on as well, because the blonde hair is really really treated. It's bleached and processed, and it can dry out after a while. Okay. So I use oil for that. Yes.
Awesome.
The next question is from Wanderlusting Yogi. Most dreadlocks I've seen, and even mine when I had them, go wild, loops, frizz, loose roots, until they're like 6 months, a year old. How have you kept yours so neat looking? That's one for you.
So I am actually getting a few loops in my roots, and it's just because your hair is tightening and shrinking up, so it's pulling hairs from all different spots. But I thought that I wanted the loops because I wanted to go through all the messy stage, and now I've just recently decided that I don't want any of the loops. I want to keep them super neat. My extensions are not getting any loops, so that's why a lot of people are saying that my dreads look really neat, because you can't really see the loops in the roots. so I'm not sure if you can see them, but I just want to say that I did try to crochet my loops in, and now they don't feel the same as the rest of the dreadlock that Renata did, so I would not recommend doing it yourself because it has changed the texture, and I'm hoping that's not going to be a permanent thing. I won't do that again, and I will be going to Renata for any loop maintenance, but yeah, it's up to you if you want to have loops or not. That's the way they are going to mature, and if you don't want the loops, then you'll just require more maintenance. So yeah, what do you reckon?
Well, I would say you're pretty good with your loops, which you have crocheted in. What's happening is that you are, like, actually what you're doing is with the crochet hook, you go into your dreadlocks and you are like locking the hairs up, so you're taking a bit of the air out, and that's why the structure is changing on that part.
Okay.
But eventually that is what's going to happen to all of your dreads. To the rest of your dreads, you know what I mean?
No.
So they're still like, your dreads are like a bit more fluffy and they've got air in them.
Okay.
And mine are like harder.
Okay.
Because that air has
there.
gone out,
Yeah.
and they have really tangled, all the hairs have tangled together.
Okay.
So yeah, you're not really like messing your dreads up when you have when you're going to work on your loops. That's something you can.
Okay. I don't know though. They feel different.
it's you know, when you want to be sure, or when it's not working for you, always my advice is to go to a loctician, which is, you know, specialized in it, and they are really able to help you out. And also there are several methods that you can use to create dreadlocks, and there's all different types of hairs. So yeah, that's something that's really different for everybody, but my experience with the method that I use, and if you maintain it really good, is that you still have really neat and tidy dreadlocks with just a minimum of loops. You always have a bit of loops and bumps, but you can like easily work those away. So yeah, it's also depending on how your dreadlocks are created, what's the structure of your own hair, how do you care for them. So yeah, those are all really important things, and I think that's something that's keep on coming back.
Yeah.
Like the good washing routine, the good maintenance, yeah, all those kind of things are really important.
Yeah, and also just going back to doing it yourself, if you don't know anything about dreadlock maintenance and you're going at it with a crochet hook, you can like damage the hair. So that was also something, like the loops started to really annoy me, so that's why I tried to do it myself, but I did keep in mind that that would not be a regular thing, because you don't really know what you're doing, and the crochet hook could poke holes through.
Yeah, well, you have to like really do it really often and hard, and it's not something that will happen like from doing
just once. Okay, yeah.
And another tip I can give is palm rolling. Palm rolling is preventing the loops,
yeah.
And also your dreads becoming flat in the first 6 months when your dreads are still young, and yeah, have to get used to like all the locking. You still have like loose hairs and frizziness. Palm rolling is, yeah, that's
the best thing.
Really good to do, especially when they're damp. So after washing, if you do that once a week, that's really good.
Yeah. So the next question is from Kid Squash, and they are asking, can you tell me how to bleach my roots in a way that my dreads will still survive? My hair is similar to Renata's. So I haven't bleached my roots, obviously. I have dyed them though since getting my dreads done, with obviously brown hair dye. And the only thing that I would recommend is, if you are doing it yourself, it's exactly like just doing loose hair, but you sort of got to massage the dye into the root, and just sort of like grab your dreadlock and mush it in so it blends. But make sure, the most important thing that I realized is you put foil or glad wrap in between the sections that you're doing, because I didn't do that for the bottom half, and brown dye started to touch the blonde parts. So with bleaching, I would also recommend doing the foil, because you don't want the bleach touching an older part of the dreadlock and damaging it when it just doesn't need to be. But basically it's just like dyeing your normal hair. Just make sure you massage it in properly so that it's getting inside the dreadlock, and washing it out is extremely important. Like, make sure you really get all of it out. But what would your experience be?
Yeah, washing it out. You know, bleaching your hair, your roots, it will make your hair like dry. It can even like break. So you have to be really, really careful with that. I have bleached my dreads, but I went to a hairdresser for that. I didn't want to take the risk to do it myself. And I have always been blonde, but when I got older, my hairdresser bleached my highlights and stuff, so I just went to her and said, okay, now I've got dreadlocks, can you help me out with bleaching my roots? So yeah, that's what I personally would recommend, is to see a professional. But yeah, if you want to do it yourself, I think all the advice is given by you. Yeah. It's Mackenzie Rose. Sweating with dreads, working out, weather, etc. Thanks. Okay. Yeah. Are you working out a lot?
I don't do gym and stuff, but my job is quite physical. I do get sweaty multiple times throughout the day because of my work. And the only thing that I can recommend to help that is just making sure that you're washing your hair at least once a week. It's not like loose hair where, you know, if you get sweaty then your hair's going to look disgusting all week, but you do want to make sure that you are keeping them as clean as possible. So probably even twice a week would be good if you are going to gym every single day and you do feel like they're dirty. But yeah, I think it's fine, just as long as you're keeping up the washing routine.
Yeah. I'm a runner. The only thing it's not really annoying me, but I don't really like the volume of my dreads when I work out. So I'm tying it up, and yeah, it's not really comfortable because of the weight. But I do sweat a lot when I work out, but not on my head. So that's really, like, I'm lucky with that, I guess.
That's good.
But what you can do, I would also recommend to keep to your washing routine of once a week. But if you really need an extra wash, you can also use a dry shampoo. There are several brands, dreadlock brands, which are having dry shampoos, and yeah, of course you can also find that on dreadshop.com. But that would be maybe helpful if you're really like sweating a lot on your scalp, to have that extra wash. And then,
so the next question is from Fritzel, and they are asking, how do you maintain your dreads? So for me personally, I haven't had them maintained except for trying to pull in those little loops. So how do you maintain yours?
Well, I think that maintaining also is everything we have talked about. So the washing process and using the right products, have a good washing routine, palm rolling. Yeah. So yeah, you do.
Oh yeah, yes, I guess I maintain them. I think of maintenance in terms of coming to you and getting them done. But yeah, that is true.
Yeah, but actually that whole process of spending time on what we've just said, that's the main thing to do. And as for maintenance, when you go to a loctician to have like all the loose hairs back into your dreads, have the dreads. And what's also important when you don't have regular maintenance is to separate your dreadlocks. So you have to pull them apart so your hair at the roots will not grow together. Because that can happen, that dreadlocks will grow into each other. So that's all things you can just do at home, and then my advice is to have them maintained. If you're after like really neat and tidy dreadlocks, go to a loctician like every 3 months. So the next question is from the Flying Caravan. Dandruff, never had it in my life until now. Reason, best shampoo. Okay, yeah, that can happen. Do you have any experience with that, Dandruff?
Yeah, I've actually noticed the same thing. Never ever noticed dandruff at the start, and I have got a little bit of dandruff now, so I just make sure that I scrub my scalp like a lot, and I'm hoping that it will go away soon. But you don't really, like, mine's not super bad, so I don't really notice it. Like, I can't see it majorly throughout the week, so I haven't had that much of an issue with it. But I never had it, so it is strange that I've got it now. Yeah, but I sort of knew that was going to happen, I think. Yeah,
your scalp needs to get used to like difference when you have dreads. What's really important to do is keep your dreads separated so they can like breathe. There's room in between the sections for some air. And your washing routine is really important. So wash your dreads once a week with a good Dreadlock shampoo. That can even be a bar or a liquid shampoo. There are different brands, and the brands that I sell on Dreadshop.com are all tested by myself and are brands that I really stand behind. They are good known at the market. And looking to dandruff, if you don't use a special Dreadlock shampoo, so start to do that. And if you already do that, make sure that you are using it the right way. So also really massage it onto your scalp when you're washing. I know that you do that because I saw your video about your washing routine. So really massage it into your scalp, like everywhere. Then you rinse your shampoo out really well. If you're already using a Dreadlock shampoo, you can switch to another brand. That can help, like switching shampoos. Maybe your scalp is better off with another brand or scent of another shampoo. That can really help. I would love to become a loctician. Any suggestions, please? Well, my advice would be, I have followed the Seienstyle course, and that's the method that I have made your dreadlocks with. And my dreadlocks are created by Anne-Marie herself, which is the owner of Seienstyle, and she's in the dreadlock world for a long time. I think also about 18 or 19 years, but she has only worked with real dreads, and she has created like her own method for that. And she's now giving an online course, which I can definitely recommend. Then there were also some questions about the price of the dreadlocks. That's something you can just head to dreadshop.com, or if you're after a personal quote, just contact me. Just send me a direct message.
Yeah, because it's always going to be different with the amount of dreads someone wants, the length of the extensions, if you even want extensions. There's no way to say, well, this is how much it's going to cost, because we all have different amounts of hair and want different things.
Yes,
so,
correct. Thank you.
So the next question is from Samantha
Eggengoor, it's a Dutch name again. You get the Dutch names.
And she's just asking, can you get dreads out again once they're already made out of your own hair? And yeah, you can definitely brush dreads out. You don't have to shave your head, but it does take a really long time. You can look up a whole bunch of videos on YouTube about people brushing their dreads out. I just watched a guy, Lazy Dreads.
Yeah, me too.
He's had his for 10 years, I think, and he brushed his out. So definitely possible, just takes a really long time, and your hair will be a bit different after you brush them out, I've noticed, but it goes back to normal, I think, after a little while.
It took him like over 50 hours.
Okay.
So my advice would be to spread that out over like weeks or days, what you want. It's taking a lot of time, but it is possible, and then it's only the question how your hair quality is. But you don't have to like shave or cut it. The next question is from Anouk Freya. Is it possible to have dreads with really thin hair? Yes, that's possible. This method is working on all types of hair. Even if your hair is really thin, it's still possible to have dreadlocks. This method is working with a special pattern, like with squares and triangles on your scalp, which is creating like really a good volume right from the start. So yeah.
So the next question is from Anna B. She did ask two, but we've answered one previously. So she's just asking how much time goes into maintaining long, tight, tidy dreads. Like I said earlier, I do it once a week. It's the whole process of washing my hair, palm rolling it, putting my products in and drying it probably takes 2 hours, sometimes like 3 if I'm doing stuff in between. So it takes a long time for me personally, but I actually like the process. I'm not rushing through the whole thing. So you could probably do it quicker than that.
Yeah, I do it a bit quicker. But it's something, you know, I like to do it too, and you don't have, normally, you would have like every morning you would have spend time, and that's you can skip that because you only have to worry about, okay, what updo am I going to do today, and that's it. So
it's really, really good. You just wake up and your hair is awesome, so it saves a lot of time. Alright, so that's all the questions for today. Thank you so much for sending them in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you. It was your idea and I really liked it.
Great.
So, and thanks for all the questions as well.
So I will link Renata's YouTube channel down below as well, and her Instagram, and also her web shop, dreadshop.com, and I'll link my Instagram where I'm documenting my whole dread journey. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.